are at Shelters by Jesus podcast, and we are so excited that you're with us, you're watching, you're listening, you're hitting subscribe, you're hitting like, you're sharing with your friends, because that brings money in. And if you want to help get people off the street, you go to sheltersbyjesus.com. If you'd like to give, it's $9. We'll get somebody off the street. We also have 4 books out written by the dumb hick from Skowhegan, me. And they have 2 prices, $10 are free. And you put your name and address right there and tell if you want books 1, 2, 3, or 4, all of them. We'll mail them right out to you. You also can call the office at 207-474-8833 and give them your name and address there, and they'll ship it. But the other thing you can do is get a tour. When you call that number, say, I'd like a tour, and you'll meet the residents. You'll see everything we have. And we're just excited about you being a part of this. So now, on to the podcast. Well, hello, and we're back again here at Shelters by Jesus on the podcast. We're excited that you're watching, you're listening. We're continuing, we're doing a series on residents, and we have another resident with me today that's going to be sharing her story. Like a lot of them, I don't know her story, so I'm going to be learning along with you today. And so, first of all, would you give your name?
My name is Brittney Barton.
What's your last name?
Barton.
Barton? Brittney Barton. Okay, Brittney.
Yeah, I'm from the coast. I'm Damascata.
You're from the coast?
Yeah.
You're a coastal woman.
Yes, yeah.
Do you like water?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Water. Yeah, I used to lobster. And
You did lobstering?
yeah, I was actually roofing before I got pregnant with my son.
You were a roofer?
Yeah.
You do know you're a girl, right?
Well, the guy jobs is where the money's at.
Well, what a point.
Yeah.
I've heard that from others here that have gone and done men's jobs.
I like hard work, though. So, yeah.
All right. All right. So anyway, Brittney, now that we know a little bit, so you're from the coast. That's where you're from.
Yeah.
All right. What prompted you to want to come to Shelters by Jesus, of all places, because this is usually the last place people want to go to because of our religious, they call us religious. So what prompted you to get a hold of us?
Actually, me and my son were escaping domestic violence from his father. And I had a big list of every shelter in every county in Maine. And
Yep.
You guys were one of the only ones that, was like, come on, and when do you need to be here? I was
Really?
like, today.
Okay.
And like, come on down. And actually, I grew up Christian. I stepped away for a little bit. I went through a period of drugs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I got pregnant with my son, and
Yep.
been off him since. But this place actually brought me back to my faith in God. So
Well, that's cool.
actually,
And your son is how old?
he's just turned 4. We just started pre-K.
All right. And your son's a live wire.
Yes, he is. He's very hyper. We went from being not allowed to leave the trailer, just me and him.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to have friends, so like he didn't have any playmates. They literally sheltered into the trailer, and his dad would go to the grocery store and all that. So when we got here, of course, there was an adjustment for both of us with all the people and kids around. But
Yeah, we have people.
yeah.
And we have kids.
Yeah, so it was hard. It was a little overstimulating for him, and wasn't sure, how to navigate. But he's doing really good.
Now, is he just hyper? He's not autistic or anything. He's just a hyper kid.
We're actually waiting for the evaluation. I was trying to get him in school, and they perform all the stuff or send him to where he needs to.
But to your knowledge, he's just hyper.
They say ADHD, which is hyper, and then either between a little autistic. They're not sure if it's autism or part of the trauma and like PTSD from his dad. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been diagnosed as autistic.
No,
so
they're actually going to be doing. He just started North Elementary pre-K, and they're going to be doing the evaluation. They did eyesight, which he might need glasses. I have to go get another test done, but they said his hearing was perfect. I was like, "Are you sure?" Does he know this?
He has what my wife accuses me of, selective hearing.
People say I have that too.
Yeah. And my wife says, you can't hear anything unless if it's what I don't want you to hear. I could drop a pin and you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has that kind of hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, he can hear me when it's something he wants, but he's actually been doing really good, and it's been really good for him being here. We needed it, he needed to know how to, I guess, act in society and, stuff, because he's also born during COVID, so
Oh,
we
so
didn't have a lot of
no
socialization then. Yeah,
socialization during COVID.
no,
No.
no. But everybody's has, big hearts, shown kindness and compassion, and that's what we both really needed.
So is he like being with the kids here?
Oh yeah, he loves them. I don't know if they like it so much because he's on the younger side,
Yeah.
but he loves it.
Right.
Yeah. And he doesn't discern between everybody's names. So when he hears the other kids going like "Daddy," he'll be like, "Hey, Daddy, Brody wants you." Or, "Hey, Daddy, Isaac," So which the other guys don't mind. So it's been nice. It's been it's like a little family here, so
All right.
it's nice.
So how have you personally found being here at Shelters by Jesus? What's it meant to you to be here?
Well, like I said, it gave me and my son a safe place to go while I'm trying to get on my feet and trying to find us a home.
Yeah.
Which, being a single mom, it's hard on its own. Very expensive, but we kind of needed a breather. I needed a place where I could just breathe for a minute till I got my head together.
Yeah.
And
Get your feet under you.
Exactly. And like I said, this place actually brought me back to my faith. So as much as people might him and haw having to go, to church every day.
Well, you hear the hemming and the hawing.
I was one of them at first,
Yeah.
but I'm actually glad. I really like it, and now that my son's getting into the routine and behaving better, I can actually participate.
Yeah.
So and all the pastors are wonderful, and the music.
You like the
Omari
Saturday night
it.
music?
Yeah, Omari does too. He'll get right dancing. It's nice. But yeah, this people shouldn't judge you guys before you get here. Really nice, and I don't know any other shelter that you can stay 24/7, feed us, clothe us, do all that for us. Most shelters, you're on your own,
Right.
Except for a bed,
And you're out days.
Yeah.
You imagine have to go out on the street in cold weather with your 4-year-old son.
No, and that's what I was about. That was actually what was going to happen if you guys hadn't
Well,
let us in.
I'm just going to ask you a wild question. If you went to a shelter, which is 99% of them, and they go, you got to be out by whatever time in the morning, and you're out there with your son, what do you think you would do? Where would you go? What would you do?
Well, actually, they had a room at Bread of Life in Augusta, and that's what they do. Even if you have children, you have to be out from 7 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, with my son being so hyper,
that's what I'm saying.
I could, I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do because I didn't have money. I get a little bit of food stamps and.
Well, if you had money, you wouldn't need the homeless shelter.
Well, no, but even what little bit I get a little TANF, to help me, but I don't know what I would do. How do you keep up? At the time when I first got here, it was 3-year-old entertained for 12 hours a day.
If you go into the stores, they're not gonna want you there all day.
No, and he would just be miserable, and I was like, I guess I'll be pushing him around the stroller, but I don't know. And I was at my wit's end, and because I'd been calling and calling and calling and calling all these places,
right,
and even the domestic violence shelters. Because when I had started calling, they didn't have beds, and then so I kept calling, and they're like, well, if this isn't a recent domestic violence, because he was in jail at the time,
right,
but I was in immediate danger, they said that
you got the bottom of the list, at best, if at all.
Yes. So I was like, then what are you guys for? You know what I mean? You can't get right in, and then by the time you do, you're not in enough danger to get in there, be a priority. So, and actually, I actually heard about you guys from a couple different people. I was like, have you tried Shelters by Jesus?
Really?
Shelters by Jesus, and I actually think God was pointing me.
Yep.
Yeah, I really believe everything happens for a reason, and God wanted me here, and I'm not sure what the reason is yet, but
well, there's rumors out there that we make slaves out of you, that we take all your money, we charge you, we work you like dogs for nothing. What would you say that, now you do chores around here, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you live by yourself at your home, you'd have to clean and
Really?
do all the things.
That is amazing.
And you guys don't charge rent. You just ask that we all pitch in and help out. So I think it's very reasonable. What the chores are sweeping, mopping, like picking up our rooms, trash, simple things.
It's the stuff you do at home.
Exactly.
We're not. We don't have a
like
maid
we're in some sweatshop, making clothes.
That's what they think we are. That we're making slaves.
No. Usually, if someone's saying something bad, it's because they didn't find the good in this place and really participate and see what you guys had to offer.
Yep.
I think that they're having their own troubles that they didn't deal with,
and we got people on the outside just looking in. We've invited them to come here
mm-hmm.
and talk to the people and see what it is. They're making judgments without getting the information, and they may get somebody we had here that we had to ask to leave because they were causing trouble.
Right. I mean, it's simple. Follow the rules, and there's not a problem if you're being disrespectful and breaking the rules, because a lot of them are safety issues. We all have kids, and
yes, and we have to have the safety laws.
And there's a lot of women who have been abused or stuff like that. So we want everybody to feel safe. And
so, do you feel safe here?
Yes, I do.
Good.
First time in a while that me and my son have felt safe. There's been a few ups and downs, but when you live with a lot of people, you're bound to, the mix of personalities you're going to have.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was raised with brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And just siblings, there's personality clashes.
So that's almost how it is here. It's like we're a big family and we're all like siblings fighting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
when we say fighting, we're not talking about beating each other up, but it's like
we're just,
you have a day, you get up, you're having an off day. And
little arguments, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just don't want to talk, but for the most part, everybody, all the staff is welcoming. I love you because you're so down to earth and real. Some pastors are like, you would be down here getting to know us.
Yep.
I appreciate that, and
my wife says I'm too real sometimes.
Yeah, you kind of have to, but that's what I like about you. You know what I mean? Some pastors, some churches I've been to, they're uptight and like you almost feel like you don't belong.
Right.
So you make light of it. You get to know us all every day. You're right here every morning in praise and prayer. Getting to know us and helping us. And making sure we have everything.
Praise and prayer is a hoot, ain't it?
I love it.
Yeah. It's nice when
It's nice to be able to laugh at a homeless shelter.
Yeah, I mean, when people here were joking, we're not joking while we're praying. I want you to understand that. But we make a lot of fun ahead of time and with requests, and we've got a lot of people we get close to, and our personalities get going, and we have fun with.
Yeah. It's nice because you actually keep us kind of busy too, so we're not dwelling on our on our lives. And then you have people from the outside that come and offer jobs to us, and
yes, we do
make some money, and we do so much. And the clothing bank, the food bank for everybody, feed in. Plus, then you're going out into these encampments, which no one does.
Yep.
And I've been in the encampments before down in Portland and slept outside years ago.
Could you imagine being in an encampment with your son?
I was like worried just bringing him to a shelter because you hear all the bad stories.
That's what I'm saying, and they
scared,
talk about us too.
Yeah, and I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and I was homeless years ago in my 20s, but because I have a daughter, she's 19. But I didn't want to bring her, so she stayed with my mom while I went through that journey. But yeah, I would rather be here than, because here there's rules and you want our safety, and
the encampment has no rules.
Right. Yeah.
And I can't imagine being a 20-year-old girl in an encampment and with the guys.
No, and I'm sure all the drugs and stuff laying around, and people, there's overdoses, like scary
Right.
things that go on, and
They're
you know, and that's the other thing about homeless people. We automatically assume we're homeless because of drugs or
right.
something, which for me, it's not the case. Like, I had a nice trailer for 5 years. I had a brand new vehicle, like, had all the name brand clothes and all the
Right.
things, but it wasn't worth to have it.
To what she was putting up with.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Because actually, my son stopped talking for about a year because of all the abuse
Really?
and trauma.
Wow.
He wasn't abused, but he watched me.
Well, the trauma, you
Yeah.
can feel abuse if your mom's being abused.
Yeah. So he actually stopped talking. He stopped eating.
Well, he has to stop talking now.
No, and he's gotten so
I
much
think
better.
I think he built up all that time, and now it's all coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was nervous about school, but they said he's fitting right in because he's never been in like a daycare school setting.
Right.
And he said that he's very smart and he's watching and learning, and he still has
He's still a 4-year-old boy.
Exactly.
You know.
But this place has actually brought him out of his shell quite a bit, and I think he needed this. This was so good for him to have before he went to school,
Right.
instead of this putting him into school.
And the best is yet to come. If you're still here at Christmas time,
Yeah.
you ain't never seen a Christmas like there is here.
That's what you're saying.
I tell you, the Christmases here will match or beat 99% of the families that are going to have Christmas in Skowhegan.
Yeah,
and that is not an exaggeration.
Wow.
It is
He'll be
wild.
happy.
It is wild. And last Christmas we had it here, and there was toys, $300, $400, $500 toys. Well, they weren't toys. John, what?
Like MetaQuest.
MetaQuest.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they a lot of that IT stuff, right? That's what it
Yeah.
is. I guess that's what you call it. It's like they were asking for some of those things, and the parents go, "Well, we can't get that for them."
Yeah.
So, and when we said put down what they want, and they go, "What they're asking for is expensive, so we'll just put it down anyway."
Yeah, you never know.
And we turned it in. We have a group that wants to fill his wishes, and whatever's on that list, the family. We have some families that are well off.
Yes.
And those families grab the big item ones. They go, "Hey, this little kid's homeless. They're going to get a Christmas." And a guy comes in dressed like Santa Claus, and
Good.
he brings
So it
in some
doesn't feel
elves.
like you're homeless.
Oh no, he has elves. We have the Christmas tree set up, and they sit around and pass out the presents. And I did a podcast on it last year. We'll do one on it this year too, so people can see it. The stuff was amazing. I mean, the parents were going, "Are you kidding me? I could have never given this."
Shoulders, like,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is like making sure they have what they need, and like Christmas is around the corner. Probably feeling bad that we might not give them something, but you guys even do stuff not even just for Christmas. Like, you guys make sure the kids have boots and coats and mittens and
School supplies.
Yeah, we got backpacks with filled with school supplies. It was awesome.
It's not been bad, has it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've been to a couple of shelters, and this was the first that actually cared. Not just said that they were, you actually care and help out, and you want what's best for us.
Well, if people watching this, and there's a lot of people out there deciding whether or not they want to invest in some charities, because they're all, there's a lot of worthy charities. We know
Yes.
that, but we tell them $9 a month will get somebody off the street. $9 a month will get you and Amari off the street.
Yeah, that's a small price.
So would you say this is worth the investment?
Yes, it is, and we would appreciate so much. You don't know the families that are just having hard times because of the world, and they just need that little bit of help. And this is a place where we can get on our feet again and not feel so bad about our lives.
Now,
I forget, actually, I'm in a homeless shelter a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, you've been helping out in the kitchen some too, right?
Yes, I was. But they, with my son in school, I just wanna
but I'm saying, but
focus on that.
you've helped out some in the kitchen.
I
You've done,
do.
which is above and beyond your chore.
Mhm.
So
I love cooking.
people going, we have some go, "Oh, I can do a chore." Well, you've done stuff beyond your chore.
Yeah, I love the kitchen. It was, it made me feel good to have a purpose and, feed everybody.
Yeah.
And
We feed pretty good around here.
yes. Yeah.
Now, you're the taco lady, they said, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I made some taco pie. I had to make it 2 different times because
Taco pie. Now,
It's like tortillas layered with like stuff you put in the taco, and then you bake it instead of like tortilla
okay.
shells or taco shells. Yeah.
Well, I heard it was a hit.
Yeah.
They like,
Yeah. It was,
yeah. John's over there going, yeah.
yeah.
He's a taco dude, I guess.
Yeah. I have a lot of experience in cooking and stuff. And
Well, that's cool.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate when anybody comes through here and they do a little extra that they're not asked to do, they volunteer.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Actually, too, I've always done hair, but I just haven't gone to school for the certificates.
Okay.
Miss Laurel, she gave me scissors and stuff.
Oh, really?
So people that want haircuts and stuff for free, I'm good at it, and you won't be, disappointed. And need a haircut, come over here and I'll give it.
All right, baby.
I
like it.
Anybody homeless needs a haircut, stop by here.
Hey, stop by and she's going to give you a haircut. And if you're a guy and you're looking, she isn't saying she's going to date you. She says she'll cut your hair. Let's lay that right out to start with. Let's set the boundary.
I mean, I know that's one thing as homeless people we neglect sometimes.
Well, of course, it's the appearance.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I can see that.
Stuff, you really, they do go off appearance.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You want to look nice and presentable, so.
I can't imagine being in an encampment like a lot of mine. We go and.
Hey, that might be an idea. We can bring that on the road too.
Hey, when you go with us and say, line up for haircuts. Yeah, we can do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be an idea.
Hey, we come up with something just while we're talking.
I'm a smart businesswoman.
There you go.
I haven't been to college, but I gotta get mine.
There you go. Hey, we start doing an encampment. You might all of a sudden have a business lined up. There you go.
Right?
There you go. There you go.
Anything's possible here.
Anything's possible here with Jesus. That's right. That's right. Well, Brittany, it's been a pleasure having you on my podcast.
I appreciate it.
I hope you folks watching this enjoyed it and get a little more information. Yeah. And again, if you want to be a part of this, $9 will take somebody off the street. And here's a lady with a 4-year-old son. You heard her story. She needed a place. This place has been good. And because of your donation, so many of you. And just hitting subscribe and like on my podcast brings in money too. So you go, I wish I had somebody to give. Well, just hit like and we'll get some money from the YouTube people because of the ads that are on there. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you giving. And until my next podcast, y'all come back now here.